This will be a day long remembered. We got MP-44. Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with a review of the MP-44. I want to say this is a year in the waiting. This thing was pre-ordered back in sometime late 2018. We're finally getting it, and I want to say that it looks beautiful. Just pulling out of the box, the paint is amazing. The trailer doesn't look a whole lot different than the other one, but we're going to get into a lot of this stuff, and we're going to talk about all these things. But first, let's go ahead and have a look at the box. This box here, and yeah, looks good. You've got a dynamic pose with MP-44. You've got his truck mode, all this great stuff. Long life design. It's actually pretty big. I mean, here's my hand, and this box is pretty big, bigger than I'd expect it to be. There's the side of it. Here's the back. I can't wait to hear what this guy has to say. What does Optimus Prime have to say? I'm sure it's great stuff. This is how it comes packaged, and sadly, guys, you're not gonna be able to pull this thing out and put it on your shelf. You're gonna have to transform it. I know about 67% of MP Transformer collectors, according to my unscientific poll, do not transform the Transformers, they just put them on the shelf. So that's going to be a challenge for some people. And then we've got two alternate heads. We've got a Starscream head. We're going to see if that fits on the Make Toys. We've got Spike, Sparkplug, this girl, I forgot her name. This, is it Carly? I got to look that up. And then the Matrix, of course. We're going to do Matrix comparisons, all these great parts and pieces. Awesome. All right. There it is, compared to MP-10 and the way MP-10 was packaged. But if you do look at the accessories, there's a big difference in the amount of accessories that you get, and just look at these few accessories over here and all of those accessories there. Look at the difference in the trailers. It's really cool. Well, let's get into this. Okay, so here is the size comparison to the Tiger Tracks and to the Bumblebee, and that looks good. It's believable. I can believe that. Hey, looking forward to 2.0 of this. Hey. So let's look at these accessories. We're going to start with looking at Spike here, and any accessory that really is used in vehicle mode, let's go and do it right now, because this bad boy is not going to be back in vehicle mode again for a while. The door opens up here, and you can actually fit Spike in there. Let's do that. Let's get him in there. There he is. And he fits pretty good. You can close the door and you can still see him in there. That's pretty cool. Can't really see him from the front though, but you can see him from the back, from the side. Just look at all the paint just glistening everywhere. This looks great. And same on the other side. There it is. It opens up. Awesome. A little seat in there and everything. Okay, now the gun. Let's fold this gun, and it will fold in sideways like that, and then you can just slide it. Just you have to lift this up a bit to slide it over. And we'll look at more of the gun for the bot mode once it's in bot mode. There it goes. It sits right there. You have it for storage in alt mode, which is a thing that we're doing these days. There you go. I don't think I would actually display it like that, but they include it, so it's right there. So we have these other two, and so I'm gonna say that there's no face paint on them. They're real small. They got some great articulation with the knees articulate. They have they've got a pretty full range right there, and then the ab crunch kind of thing going on in the arms. There's no elbow. And the head doesn't seem to move, so the head doesn't move on any of these. But it gives you some great options for posing them in all of these, in the roller, in the prime, all of that. Ah, these little minifigures, they fall apart real easy though, so I do want to point that out. And she looks a little too tiny. She keeps falling in the hole there. But yeah, fits in roller. And the gun fits on roller also, like we know. You actually have to convert this thing around. So just like so. Has an opening hood on roller. Pretty cool. And there's the bottom of roller. And let's have a look at the trailer. Here's the bottom. It's got the usual fold-out pieces, like always. Yeah, just like a regular trailer. Here's the back of it. You can pull out the ramp. This trailer looks a lot like the MP-10 trailer, not a whole lot different. But when you open it up, you can see that you don't have this part already mounted in there. So you can have it on wheels, however you want to do it. It'll rise in the wheels version, which you can just be an extra vehicle, or you can fold these down and then you can pop these flaps out. So they appear to have some scuffing on them already. And then you can put it in here and have it locked in, just like the original G1 toy, and it's locked in place, if that's something that you want. And then you can do all these other functions with it. And this part goes up, just like you're used to seeing. Now, with this, it's got these little guns that come out, so that's pretty cool too, for the little gunning station. And you can put one of the little figures in there, the spike and all that will fit right in this place here. So there's also little gunner stations right here and right here, and homage to the toy, homage to the everything. It's really cool. Trailers, awesome. I don't do a whole lot with the trailer, and everybody likes to show. Yes, you can actually fit 2 full cars in this trailer. Very simple, very easy, and it's because they made this easily removable. And there we go. We can see them rolling in and out. I think a lot of the promotional package shows this little scene right here, or this little number right here. Yeah, it just got hung up on that leg. It's fine. Doors closed. You also have a fuel pump accessory you can plug into roller. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the transformation. It is a bit of a bear, and so we're going to start by loosening up these side tabs here. And just bringing them out. And I'm gonna be real careful because I do not want to scratch up the paint on this guy. I'm gonna spread these legs like this. Split that. And we're gonna do one leg at a time here. So, all right, so you fold this piece in half, and then you're gonna fold this out. And then this is going to lift, this piece here lifts up and around. And then this folds over. This bottom piece here is gonna fold to the bottom. So it's gonna look like that. And then this is a double hinge right here. That's a double hinge. So you fold it and then you fold it again on the double hinge. And yes, it's paint on paint. That's gonna be paint on paint with that. That is kind of scary. And you're gonna pull this leg down. And then inside here, there's a piece that folds up. And everything's really tight on it, of course. And then you're gonna rotate the entire leg around this way. And you're gonna start seeing the leg come together like that. Flip this guy around. Lift that back part of the leg up. I'm getting out of frame there. And then, let's get that piece in there. Okay, so now that that's set up, this lower leg lifts up. I was thinking that was die cast, but I guess it's not. It forms that section, and all the lines got to line up. And at this point, you can lift this piece up too. Just don't want to scrape any paint. That doesn't sound good when that happens. All right. And now the leg will come together. Fold this piece over the tire. There's this small piece goes down into a tab. Tabs it in two places to hold the leg together. And then this plugs in. And then this piece folds down, but folds over. And then you make the heel. All right, so you got a leg done here. I'm gonna go ahead and fold this piece over right now. I can see how some people are not as careful with it as they should be. Okay, so we're gonna go from a different angle on this. So fold that down, fold this out, lift this up, okay, fold this piece down, and fold that up. And the whole thing folds over, and then this bottom area folds down, and then this will fold down and cover the wheels. Double jointed there. Okay. Now I'm gonna fold this around, which direction it works, and then lift it up. Slide the leg down. Let's work from an angle we can see. This comes all the way up. This folds up. The other one didn't plug in very well, so I'm gonna have to look into that. That one plugged in perfect. It's funny how you can have two legs and one plugs in perfect and then the other one doesn't. Now with this, got that whole rotating around, snap this in, fold it in one piece. Maybe I missed that step on the first leg. That's probably what my problem is on the first leg. And then fold that down, got the second leg. So I'm gonna look into, get that heel spur, fold it out, got your heel spur. I'm gonna look into this issue I have with the first leg. Now the only issue I had on my first leg was the tabbing of it. All right, now finishing off the second leg, there we go. It just wasn't tabbed. There's a lot of tabs, a lot going on here. It's pretty complex, to tell you the truth. Now to work on the upper body. And we're going to break. We're not breaking it, we're lifting. I want to say breaking that, we lifted it. And everything is tight, so I want to be very careful not to mess up anything. We lift these pieces up, so that whole section comes up, these pieces come up, and then this is the famous chest piece. And this back, so we're starting to work on turning this into a backpack, basically. And then, don't want to scrape any paint. There's so much paint, it looks nice. We'll fold those side pieces there. Now these come down on a double hinge. It's nice and tight. I mean, it feels quality. Like this all just feels very, very quality. Doesn't feel like it's cheap. cheap or anything. Bring the arms out. And this is when it's going to start to kind of explode. The legs exploded, and in fact, I got that done and out of the way. It's a much better process now. Push this wheel down to flip it up. So that's the wheel is locked in place like that, and you push it down to flip it up. And then you're able to flip that around and start working on it. That wheel locks in place. So we'll do that side too. Flip it up, and then you lift. Spin that piece around, and it'll all lift up. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and clean up these hip skirts real quick just to get them out of the way, in which they kind of hide away in the truck mode. And then we're going to get the head out. Now, here comes the head. And yes, the plastic's there because it's so well painted, they don't want to mess the paint up on that. And then we're going to pull this out. This is the matrix chamber. The matrix chamber comes out, and here's the back piece. Fold the tail down, and then we're going to reposition everything so that we get him in his correct stance. Let's get the arms basically out of the way. Yes, it's fun, it's fun. And we're going to move this back to the back, and we're going to lift all of this up. And we want to make all of this flat, not as flat as you can. Now we're going to move the matrix chamber up into the new cavity where the head was, more or less. Now this is going to need to snap in. Now this is where it feels uncomfortable. Okay, so these aren't up all the way yet. So let's rotate that around. And then that's how you get the nice crest chest instead of a flat chest. So you get the crest of a chest there. And then now it's going to go into place. Push that down. We can close the chest up. And we're getting there. We're getting there. I want to come back here and clean up this. Now, I'm pretty sure this is where you're going to put the batteries. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to figure all that out too. And that folds up into here, snaps in. You got his back. You got that notorious backpack that everybody just seems to love on this guy. We have some arms. The arms are pretty simple. Now they do extend down, and got a lot of plastic in there. This is my first time transforming it because there will not be a second. Oh. Like, Mike, it's blasphemy. You're not going to transform it a second time? No, I'm not. Fold that out. Fold. Okay, this whole mechanism should come around. That folds like that. This covers that little gap there. Tighten it up. There's an arm. Somebody's starting to feel like you got a little magic square in there. You got a little magic square in you, MP-44? Let's do this other arm here. Okay, so open this up. Pull the little plastic pieces off. I should have left the plastic on it. Open that piece up. Bring out the hand. Bring the whole mechanism of the hand around. Come on. It's real tight. Sadly to say, the first time is probably going to be real tight. There we go. Folding this around. I think I went off camera for that. Slide this down. Same exact as the first one. These ratchets feel good. He's here. Slide that down. And I'm going to clean up the top of it here real quick and get right back to you. All right, so here we have in his robot form, and I gotta say, it looks pretty good. You look at this backpack. They talk about the backpack. That's the number one thing everyone talks about, and it's there. But it's actually, he has a backpack. It doesn't look exactly like the cartoon's backpack, but really close. just really what he looks like in the cartoon. A lot of things about this are so Toon-esque. But we're going to run down the articulation with this guy, which is incredible. And I think with that incredible articulation that you're going to get, comes with a little bit of fiddliness in the transformation in the figure and stuff. Now, I've heard people call this thing a floppy mess. I wouldn't call it a floppy mess, but I would have to say that the fact that there's so many parts count to it, so many moving pieces, that even with all the tabs to tab it in, it's got more movement and play and give in it than you would with some of the other competition. So, you know, that it actually, Transform Element and Magic Square and MP-10 all as one big chunk are more solid. This guy does have some movement to him, more than you would with one of those guys. But this guy will kill him in articulation. So let's get started with the head. So the head itself, actually, you can pull it up to give it some more. You can expose a neck, so you can look up, you can look down, you can look all the way around. There's everything you want with a neck. Now, shoulder goes all the way around, goes all the way out, but you kind of have to, it's tight. You can go all the way out with it, and then up. There's a lot you can do with that shoulder. And then elbow, now is to, oh, these fold back just a little bit. The elbow is a double bend elbow. So you get all the range you're gonna need out of that, definitely. And then looking down to the waist, and okay, you can hide all this junk that's going on here because that tabs up here, but to get the articulation out of it, you need it popped up a bit. But I can't get it all the way down. I feel like I'm gonna break something, but I can see how it will go all the way down. I just don't want to put the force on it that it's gonna take. And I don't really care because I think he looks good, and in a dynamic pose, you want the waist. So it goes about that far over. It could, there we go. I don't want to go too much further. It's not 360, but I mean, you can see where that goes. Does anyone see Magic Square to it? Some Magic Square, give him a little more height. He can step up to Megatron. Okay, anyway. And then you've got the ab crunch, so he's, I had too much Energizer drink last night, so there it goes. That does break the sculpt, as you can see. But if you are doing it from a certain angle, it's not a big deal. So push that back down. Now, the interesting thing, and now we've seen this in pictures, but now it's live, so let's show you. The skirt here goes up into it. So when you lift the leg and you get that past 90 degrees, and look at that. This is what they show this picture all the time. But the skirt hides. The skirt hides in there. That's something, well, I've seen that in a couple. I actually think Sunstreaker does that too, doesn't it? The skirt just hides in there. Both sides. Good ratchets, solid ratchets. Ratchet it out to the side. It's a heavy leg too, so. And it doesn't have any die cast, but it's got a bit of a weight to it, so maybe we'll see which one of these guys has the most weight to it. Ankle articulation, it goes all the way like you would need. The articulation is just great with this guy. You have the thigh swivel, about that much thigh swivel, and then with the knee, there's not a swivel at the knee, but you wouldn't need it. So you could get so much out of it. Looking at the hand is not individually pinned though. You have these three fingers, but the way they're pinned, it looks really nice. And then you have, of course, a trigger finger right here, thumb, and I think that's one. Nope, no articulation in the thumb past that 1 point of articulation. So 2 points in the middle finger, 2 points in the three that are together. And then let's see how well it holds a gun. Detail on this guy. So looking at the top, it's a bit, there's a lot of paneling. It's paneling, I'm not gonna lie, but it gives you a super Optimus Prime look. Looking at the head, my antenna look a little bent. I don't know if that's supposed to be bent like that. And then just the paint pops, it glistens. Here's the matrix chamber. Opening it up, we're gonna look at the matrix here in just a second, but here's the matrix chamber. Okay, getting that open is not as easy as it was last time. We'll get into that here in just a second. the glistening, the chrome is all done very well. And until you pop it back up, the waist there. Looking at this, this is just beautiful paint. The yellow looks good. The white is painted white. Got the chrome right there on the canisters. The knee just looks good. It looks really good. It looks like a proper knee. I know that was an issue with some of the other competitors we're going to see here in a second. And we do have these little pins for part of transformation, which don't really bother me because it is a mechanical being. I like the arc of the leg. Like, all those pieces just came together to make this thing look like an actual leg. Hidden on the inside is some of the alt mode that doesn't really show, but you do see the red. There's a lot of red in there, and that was pointed out, actually, I think that was pointed out just a month or so after I put my video up a year ago. So it was about a year ago I put a video up about this thing's coming and pre-order it. But people started pointing out around that time that there's red in there, so is that part of the cab? And you know, they nailed that. Like, people saw that and nailed that. That was awesome. And then looking at the back, everyone wants to complain about the backpack. Yes, I know. It's not that bad. To tell you the truth, it's not that bad. All the electronics are in here. We're going to get into that here in just a second. Just looks good. I mean, the screws are on the back. You're not going to display it on the back, but if you display it on the back, this cleans up way better than MP-36, but we're going to see that here in a second too. Just look at the glistening paint and all that too. You can see a couple of the red hinges right here. Then more red in there. You can still see the tire showing through, but way better. Just really well engineered. So let's go ahead and get into this talking gimmick that we've got going on here. And we're going to pull this down. You'll unscrew this. Take a screwdriver, unscrew this, and I think I might have scuffed it up a bit unscrewing it, and I don't think I'm going to unscrew it much more. This whole panel just comes off, and there's 1, 2, 3 LR44s go in there. I actually will show you the packaging of the batteries I used and how I kind of screwed up. But the first set of batteries that I put in, I thought they tested fine and it didn't work, but then I realized right here is a little switch. That is the on and off switch, or whatever it is. On and off switch, I guess. I didn't know that it was there, so I just kept pushing the button. It was over here. Now I want to tell you that if you hold it down, it takes it to like a different set of phrases or something. It took me probably 20 or 30 pushes till I finally found Peter Colon. And now it's in a zone where all it does is talk Peter Colon, and that's all you're going to hear out of this from me. So let's hit the next one.
I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform and roll out. Transform and roll out. One shall stand, one shall fall. Transform and roll out.
So really cool with that. And I'm going to show you, this is a set that would have worked, the 357, yeah, 357 LR44s. But I went to Walmart, and so, by the way, these are the Dollar Tree $1. You get four for $1, but they were out. So I went and spent $6 on 3, which this is, if you get this at Walmart, it'll work. It's $6 at Walmart, it'll work. And these are the same as those other ones I just showed you. But the 357 LR44, and just so you know, they're different companies call the same size a different number, and I don't know why. That's just the way the world works. All right, so let's go ahead and talk flight stands with this guy. This is his flight stand. It's part of his trailer. Well, not really part of his trailer, but there it is. It works. It's pretty sweet. Now, I do have trouble with right on the inside here, the locking mechanism. It comes unlocked very easily. It's kind of a poor, shoddy locking mechanism, but I'm able to make it work, as you can see. It is pretty sweet. You can get some serious poses, and this is right out the box, so it comes with it. Converting this piece here into a flight stand, you take this back section, you unclip that, and then you just slide it up, and this comes off And so then you just plug that piece into the back of Prime. You'll have to partially untransform it, unclip that butt piece there, and then this just slides on like so. Just like that. And you've got his flight stand. But here's the other thing. If you happen to have picked yourself up while one of these Dinobots, like, oh, what am I picking up a Dinobot for? Like, who cares about Dinobot? And how does he have any relation to this wonderful MP-44? Well, he had his own flight stand. And this flight stand is pretty cool. So this little piece here, it's actually really hard to get on and off the flight stand, but it does work. I think some of this came off on that, but anyway, you push it on there really good, get the flight stand in its pose, or however you want to do it, and unplug. That simply plugs in, and I'll show you the little transformation of that. Then he plugs in there, and you've got some flight stand options for Prime. Mine's loose right here, so it kind of falls side to side. You can get it in a pose and keep it, and it'll work, but it's not as tight, I guess you could say, as I would like. But yeah. So if you have a Dinobot and you're like, oh, well, you know, what am I going to do with all this cool flight stand stuff? Yeah, there you go. You can put a flight stand, you can get him in an awesome pose. And it really, you know, that really accentuates the fact that the massive articulation can get you amazing poses in flight. And what good is it to be in flight without a jetpack? So his jetpack just plugs into the back there, and there he's got his jetpack. This little top piece rivets on and clips on there. Here he is. And let's see, how about we put some blast effects on? So where would you find blast effects? Well, guess what? You can find them in the back of, all this storage that you can store. All this wonderful stuff you can store in the trailer. That's where you can hold. So we'll talk about some more of these accessories here. But here are the blast effects. So let's go ahead and clip them on. And we can put it on here. One goes here, one goes here, and there, it's a jetpack. And then I'll put that there. So really cool, so many options with this guy. Like, it's almost like if you can think it, it can be done with this guy. Really awesome. And look at more accessories we're gonna deal with. Looks amazing, just amazing. Look at the like when we turn this with a 360. Look at the paint glisten. It just glistens. Look at that. Look at the glistening. It shines. Then this guy right here, and there we go. Blast effects. He's jumping. You can still see the jetpack in the back. Pretty sweet. What am I gonna do with this? What am I gonna do with this while Prime is flying around? Well, you just take roller, and you flip it around, and plug this into roller, just like that, and you've got a souped up roller, a super duper roller. While you have this out, so on this, you have this plug, and plug this into here, and roller can roll away with this. Also, you can flip this around. Wow, and plug this in here, and then you can also plug the blast effects in, and it will take off on you. Crazy. Have you ever wondered what happens to Prime's trailer? I think that's really Roller's main job is to get that trailer out of the way really fast, and then show back up and Prime's ready to transform. Okay, so the trailer repair bay gimmick. Pull these seats down, and you can utilize the humans to stand up here on these platforms with their. Can you see that? Is that coming in? All right, let's do the whole block it so you see. Okay, there is magnet in the feet to where you could just stand them up there, and it's really cool. There were some 80 toy lines that used real little figures like this that had magnets in their feet, and so what are the humans doing? Well, they're just watching Prime get a little quick repair going on, but pretty cool, and it's reminiscent of a lot of stuff. You can see we have his gun can plug in there, and then the refueling station. And the humans can plug into here, these strips. Come on, show this. Yeah, look, see the magnetism. Magnetic strips there, a magnetic strip, or a metalish strip that'll magnets work there. It works on here, and it works on the other side, the exact same. Here, and here, and here. Yeah. This gimmick, we unclip the back, we clip this on, put that on right here. Then put it back, and the head just slides off. So, real simple. Now we bring in Starscream's head, and okay, I'm gonna put it on my Meteor. I'll show you how I did that here in just a second, but you just slide it on like so, and then you get the whole effect of him lifting his head off. Here he is lifting the Optimus Prime mask off, and so that's that whole effect, and that's from that one episode, and that's from this episode right here. Now, if you have Make Toys Meteor and you're not happy with the look of your Make Toys Meteor, I'll show you how I'm gonna make it adapt to mine. It's not going to just pop right on. See, because this is what the backs of the heads look like. It won't just pop on your Meteor like that. It won't. So I took some electrical tape and I just wrapped it around, and I did a kind of a 3/4 turn. So this is the part that's going to plug on there, and this is the part that plugs into the head, like that. I basically wrapped it around itself and then plugged it in like so, and now Make Toys Meteor has a nice looking head. That's a really good Starscream head. You can do anything with it. It took a little bit of, trial and error. Like, is it too thick? Not thick enough. But that's going to be my Starscream Make Toys Meteor head for a while now, because it is pretty cool. Let's look at beat up looking Prime. There's the beat up head sculpt. There's the beat up part. And then you just clip it on the side. And instead of having to swap parts, that's really good. I like that so much more. I think that's a much better way to go about this than, yeah. And then he can touch his wound here. Oh, it hurts so bad. Oh. Yeah, this looks like he's got his hand on his hip, but whatever. He could still cover his wound. Here's his other head sculpt, and I gotta say, I like the one he came in the box with the most. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the one that he originally came with. Just slide it off, and slide it back on. Yeah, that one looks so much better. So I don't have a loose matrix of the MP-10. Yeah, that's sad, I know. I've sold off all my extras. So anyway, here is the best I can do to show you a comparison of the original to this one. I think this one, like, everything's thicker on it. I don't think it's exactly the same. It's not the same mold. This one's thicker, in my opinion. Let's flip it around, so that's that side. It's a different matrix. I mean, we're splitting hairs, but it's. I bet you they could swap and both fit in each chest, though. There it is in the matrix chamber, so looking good. You're an imposter. No, you're an imposter. No, all of you are imposters. So how does MP-44 stack up with all the other prime options out there?
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Got Transform Element, we have MP-10, we have MP-44, and Magic Square. And I gotta say, my initial thought was MP-44 would blow them all out of the water. And he does when it comes to a toon aesthetic. He does look more like he walked off the screen than any of these guys. But there are a couple of pluses and minuses, and so for 450 bucks, he's not perfect. Now, I only paid $328 through Amazon Japan because there's ways to get things cheaper if you make your mind up right away and just order it, whatever. But let's look at a side profile of all these and the backs and all that and do a good solid comparison here. So when you look at the side profile, more of a side angle there, you see that there's a backpack here, a backpack here, almost no backpack, and a little bit of a backpack here. But every one that does have a backpack, the backpack is cleaner. Looking at the angle here on the leg and the angle here on the leg, and even to this point, angle here, looks good. They all have that kind of angle to it. This part here this is a KO, yes, and a shiny KO or whatever, but I never liked this lower leg on this MP-10. This was my biggest fault with MP-10, and it's fixed here. It's fixed on all of these other three options. Let's turn around and let's look at the back. So this is the transform element in the back, and he's the flattest. Now, can you say it cleans up the best? He has a little bit of folding stuff right there. You see that. MP-44 has some kibble from the transformation, or MP-10, sorry, has kibble from the transformation. That's always been like that on the backpack. You have this here, but this does look like it's kind of animation in a way, and it looks good. This is cleanest, second cleanest, third cleanest, and in my opinion, the worst on the back. So it is an upgrade from MP-10, but these are all going for toon aesthetic. But there is still some kibble here. It's not perfect, but yeah, Transform Element, I guess, would take the cleanest. So how much do each of these guys weigh? So we're going to start with the baseline of the MP-44 because this is what the review's all about. And he weighs 15.4 ounces. Now, I would think Transform Element weighs the most, so let's pick him up. And Transform Element weighs, you hear that metal? Here, listen to that. 20.4, so 5 ounces more. Now, it's kind of not fair because my MP-10 is a KO, so it weighs 14.7, so a little less. It's a much bigger, beefier kind of a bot. And then Magic Square weighs 14.1. So Magic Square is the lightest by a fraction of an ounce. But yeah, I mean, aside from it, we know the Transform Element has that die cast and that weight and that girth and that heftiness. All right, in all fairness, let's go ahead and compare these to the toon. So this is Magic Square, this is the MP-44, and who matches the toon better or best? And I really feel like MP-44 has that toon vibe far more than Magic Square. Magic Square's a bit beefier and chunkier, but he is a good bot. I mean, he's not a bad bot. And if that's your prime and you want to say, hey, I don't really want to buy the MP-44, well, that's not a problem either. Transform element was also really close to tune accurate, and he's been my main prime in the middle of my prime display for a while. But I have to say, it's something in the legs and the pelvis area and this here, and then the way the chest is, like the crest on the chest, it wins over here. But I knew it went from the pictures, but seeing it in person, it wins more. Now, I can't lie, this is a much cleaner look. There's less panel lines, it does look cleaner. But this looks more tune accurate, and I really think that that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a bit of paneliness to get the tune accurate, because it's unrealistic to expect it to be perfectly tune accurate and flip back and forth the two tune accurate modes without having some sort of sacrifice. The sacrifice here is crazy engineering and crazy transformation. A quick comparison with these two in MP-36, and when you look at this, you say he is slightly shorter, and it's hard to see in that with this angle. Maybe I should get a better angle, but when MP-36 came out, he revolutionized what we thought a good transformer, a good-looking Masterpiece transformer was. And look at them side by side. You can see that he has a lot of the same stuff. The extra kibble that this guy has, not kibble, but the panel lining and the parts and the high part count and the challenging transformations. Let's look at these guys from the back. And I know that that's where MP-36 falls apart. And I have yet to put that, I have a piece to put on here. I just have to trim it up to make it fit right. But MP-36 does fall apart in the back. This is way cleaner in the back than MP-36. And so I'm thinking that maybe they took some notes from MP-36. MP-36 has his, it probably needs new batteries. All his electronics are in the cannon versus all the electronics in this guy are in this backpack piece, which I like. It's all inclusive. It's awesome. Here's MP-44 in my display where he belongs. He's home. He's home. Yeah, I think that looks really good. So Masterpiece Optimus Prime MP-44 version 3 of the Optimus Prime in the Masterpiece line, and what do I think of it? I think this thing is highly articulated. I think it's painted well, 100%. I think it's a beautiful figure. I think it deserves Masterpiece. I think that it's another Takara coming home to roost, but I only think it's 20% better than the Transform element and like 22% better than Magic Square. Well, no, it's actually about 35% better than Magic Square, because Magic Square did not do a very good job of painting their figures. So I don't like that. But I have to say that I like this. This is gonna be my prime in my display. I'm gonna put the other ones in other places. I'm not gonna get rid of them, I'm gonna keep them just because. But I have to say this thing looks so beautiful. It has so many options. There's so many things you can do with it. It's so integrated. It's actually another step in evolution in Takara's Masterpiece line, utilizing things like Dinobot's flight stand and just turning all of those elements that we've seen classically before and re-engineering them and rethinking them. Is it worth $450? It probably is, but is it worth $450 to everybody? No. I think there's going to be a vast majority of people that can't wait for this KO to come out, and that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that, because guess who's going to get all the KOs and compare them? Me. I want to show them on my channel. But this thing just looks great. I'm excited about it. I got mine from Amazon Japan. It was like $328. It came in like 3 or 4 days. It was fast to get from Japan. Really pleased with it. And I would suggest it. Like, if you don't have a Prime, get this one. Try to find it for, you know, a better price than $450 or $500 or whatever's going on. But it's going to be really hard, actually, to get it much cheaper than $450 now that all the pre-order discounts have gone away, and this thing is going to sell out because it is that good. It's that exciting. It's probably the best figure that's been made this year. It is the best figure made this year. Anyway, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think of MP-44 Prime. Titanium Hanger out.